My name is CJ Obasi, and I'm a writer, director, producer, and editor. I'm currently working on pre-production for my upcoming crime-gangster thriller titled Old Town. I was visiting a friend in this close-knit community right in the heart of Lagos metropolis. And it so happened that every time I came there, I would see one peculiar feature as regards the location. For instance, it had only one point of ingress and egress, and the residents only had one source of water. And it just occurred to me that what would happen if the point of exit in that area got blocked out by, say, flesh-eating zombies, or in this case Ojujus. And that started kind of like birthing a seed, and I started thinking, since they have one source of water, and we already know as a premise that 70 million Nigerians, at least 70 million Nigerians, don't have access to clean drinking water. And I knew that if such a thing, like an epidemic that resulted from that, was to occur, it would affect those who lived in the low-brow areas. And so for me, that was, basically the birthing seeds, that would later become the film Ojuju. I've always been attracted to the horror genre ever since I was a child. Films like the Hammer House of horror films, the Sam Raimi classics like The Evil Dead, and of course the George Romero classics like The Night of the Living Dead, and so on and so forth. And those were basically, the George Romero classics were basically the films that inspired the direction I wanted to take Ojuju to, as regards, taking a popular pop culture as the zombie pop culture and localizing it in the Nigerian context. You might say that Ojuju is basically like my love letter to the George Romero classics. It's basically about, a slum community whose only source of water has been contaminated, turning them into rabid flesh eaters, or Ojujus in this case. So the key characters now have to survive. Basically, they have to fight their way through to escape, since there's only one way to one exit. So they have to basically find a way to get out, and that's basically the story. And the key characters are Gabriel Afonaya, who plays Romero, which is like my nod to the master George Romero, and Kelechi Udebe, who plays his friend, who is like the neighborhood funny guy, a character called Amy. Romero's girlfriend is played by Meg Otanwa. We have Omaomi Dada, who is a fantastic actress. She plays Beju, a very strong and physical character in the film. And you also have a host of other guys, like Jumoke Ayadi, Chidozie Nzeribe, who plays Fela, Mfon Brutus, who plays Gaza. It's a character-based film, so there's a lot of fun characters in it, and it's just due to budget constraints and the harsh conditions of making the film, I deliberately chose to go to make it a character-based film, about people surviving something very peculiar to them. We premiered the film at the Africa International Film Festival just last month, and it won the award for Best Nigerian Film, which was a huge surprise for us, because particularly in that category you had a whole bunch of big budget films that were competing for the prize. So we didn't really think we were going to win. We weren't expecting to win, actually, because Ojuju is actually a zero budget film. We made it completely with no budget, and it was just something we had to do just for the love of film, but it went on to win. So it was like it was a huge honor bestowed upon us, by the jury, and it's like a stamp of approval by industry people that I look up to and respect, and definitely a confidence booster, and it tells me yes, I'm on the right path, and we should definitely take this as far as possible, So yes, it was a huge honor. I was talking to one of the members of jury, after the award, and I asked him, why did you guys choose Ojuju? And he said, amongst all the other films that Ojuju was competing with, Ojuju stood out. And so I felt that, because it was, it's like a real genre film that explored, the basically the features of what a genre film is. I just felt that, it was, something we had, tapped into in terms of innovative filmmaking, as far as Nigeria is concerned. Well, hopefully the film will be available on iTunes soon, but right now we are still on festival rounds. My next project is a film called Old Town. It's a small town story. It's like a semi-autobiographical tale. I grew up in small town Owerri, which is where I am now. I'm currently on pre-production for the film, and it's basically like my love letter to film. It's it's a mashup of some of the genre films I grew up loving and watching as a child, and as well as a semi-autobiographical because it's a mashup of some of the crime stories I heard growing up in this part of Nigeria. It's a town called Owerri. It's a very small town in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Hence, the slang name for it, Old Town. So it's really supposed to be a very fun material to work on, a very fun and passionate material that is very close and dear to me. And I'm looking forward to see how it turns out. That we're hoping a lot of people are going to enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. And we're certainly open for funding.